Hey, how's it going everyone? This is OddJob here. In today's video, we're going to be taking a sneak peek at the new concept ship, which is going to be the Tumbril Ranger. Basically, this is going to be Star Citizen's version of an off-road dirt bike. There's 3 variants of it, and it looks fairly interesting, and this is something that's going to be needed in the verse. This is going to be a great choice for NPCs and most likely player characters that are just getting started off, as this looks to be a very cheap ground vehicle that everybody will be able to buy. There are going to be 3 variants to the Tumbril Ranger, and if you buy during the concept sale, they are going to give you a bit of flair to go along with it to entice you to spend some real money in order to get the really cool stuff. So that's nothing new. Let's go ahead and get into the variants, and then we can talk about LIT tokens and a little bit about gameplay theory. So as you can see, there's going to be 3 variants. There's also a combo pack, and then there is an all-inclusive pack down here. The first variant is the Tumbril Ranger. So this is going to be the long-range model. It's also going to be able to carry some cargo, which is nice, but it does not have any weapons. So in order to actually protect these Tumbril Rangers, you're going to need another variant to go along with you. So this is kind of interesting. I kind of wish that they also added a second seat for this particular variant. That would give it a lot more utility, and I also feel like in terms of like Squadron 42, it would actually add some really interesting gameplay elements that would be needed. But right now we just have the Ranger, which is basically the long-range cargo variant. The next variant is the racer model, which most of the ground vehicles do have a racer model. So this one comes in the traditional red for the racer model. It's supposed to be faster, but we really don't know anything about it as they don't really give any specs. But as you can see, at $30, it's the same price as the cargo variant, and you also get your flair with it just like the Ranger model. The last model is the combat variant, and it has dual size 1 weapons, one for each side of the vehicle. So this is the only one that can actually fight, and it doesn't look like it's going to be on gimbals. So it could be pretty hard to aim this thing depending on how it actually works. So this is definitely going to be popular for protection of convoys and also anybody going into any type of combat scenarios. But it does cost a little bit more, and it comes with its own flair. So those are the 3 variants, and there is a combo package which will save you essentially $10. So if you want all 3 variants, this is definitely one to have. I do caution you when buying combo packages, as I've run into this problem before. If you start upgrading vehicles inside of a package and you all of a sudden don't want that upgrade, you're going to have to reset the entire package, which is something of an annoyance. So be cautious of that. The last one to talk about is the Super Package, which essentially has all of Tumbril's vehicles at $450. It is quite a chunk of change, but if you do want all of Tumbril's vehicles, there is a package out there for that. So let's go ahead and talk about LIT tokens and a little bit about gameplay theory. Now, in terms of LIT tokens, and for anybody who's new to Star Citizen, essentially what that means is that you're going to buy this vehicle, you're going to upgrade it to another vehicle that's already inside the Star Citizen universe that you can't get lifetime insurance on. By upgrading this chassis to the vehicle that you want, you essentially transfer that lifetime insurance into that new chassis, thereby getting that vehicle that you wanted with lifetime insurance. That's what we call LIT tokens, and at $30 you really can't go wrong. It's also priced to the point where you can pretty much upgrade to almost any type of vehicles. So at $30, if you want a cheap way to be able to upgrade to a vehicle that you want, this is definitely a chance to go get that. Now let's go ahead and jump into a little bit of gameplay theory. One thing that I really hope that they allow us to do is while riding these motorcycles, they allow us to use one-handed weapons in case of a combat situations. There's only one variant that already has mounted weapons, the other 2 does not. So having a one-handed sidearm with you that you can actually shoot off the bike is something that most video games have, and this is something that would be really welcomed in this particular scenario, as this will allow you to defend yourself while you're on one of the other vehicles. It may not be a lot of protection, but at least something. So before ending this video, one thing that I do really quickly want to talk about is really the lack of actual gameplay for these type of vehicles. Right now, I'm actually over at Daymar, and as you can see, I'm over at this base camp right here, which is a mining facility, and over here, very close to it, is another facility that I can easily fly to, but unfortunately, there is actually no gravel roads. I'm not looking for anything fancy here. I'm just looking for a type of road system that you can use for these type of bikes that can just kind of wind through this type of terrain, which is a very cool looking terrain, something that we can really use our bikes for, and something that we can actually set up other types of player gameplay that isn't already in the game. Like we can set up races, we can kind of set up our own events, because there is a road system that can actually take advantage of all of these ground vehicles, especially a lot of these racing vehicles, which we really have a lot of them. We don't really have too many ways to make our own fun without having to go through some really rough terrain. If we just have some basic roads, you know, gravel roads, stuff that you would see all over the place in most countries, then what we can do is we can actually make our own fun. We can actually use these vehicles, we can do them for exploration. This is something that could be just kind of fun for almost anybody to do. In fact, they can go a little bit further. They can ensure that the roads are kind of windy like the old country roads, and then they can put kind of some scenic things that we could see as we travel through that road. This is something that I don't feel like it would be all that difficult. It's implemented in pretty much all video games, but we could really use it right now in Star Citizen. It really would be nice to actually start seeing some sort of road systems on these planetary surfaces, so that we have some sort of guided experience in terms of exploration, and also some landmarks that we can easily use while on the ground to be able to explore, and also to tell people where we are. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this type of content, please subscribe to the channel, as we will be covering all things Star Citizen. If you have any questions or recommendations, please leave it in the comments below. We greatly appreciate new subscribers, as this will allow us to create more content in the future. That's all I have. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.